seven kings. Revelation 17, 8 through 11. Verse 8. The beast that thou sawest was, and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was, and is not, and yet is. Verse 9. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The seven heads are seven mountains, Palatine, Quirinal, Aventine, Calian, Viminal, Esquiline, and the Janiculin, on which the woman sitteth. Strong indicates that the Greek word used here for mountain is oros, and that it means a mountain, as lifting itself above the plain, hill, mountain. Verse 10. And there are seven kings, Basileus, foundations of power. 5 are fallen, and one is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. Verse 11. And the beast that was, and is not, even he is 8, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. The Apostle John is given a great revelation as to the identity of the beast that was, and is not, and yet is. In the book of Revelation, this is the third appearance of the ten-horned beast. Historically, it first appeared as Rome pagan, then transitioned into Rome papal. Its third appearance is for our time, manifesting itself in the European Economic Community, EEC, embracing a socialist mentality. John tells us that we must look toward the seven-hilled city to properly recognize this beast. This city could only be Rome. In St. John's time, Rome was called, as it is to this very day, the seven-hilled city. I have already identified the historic names of the seven hills. The seven-hilled city of Rome also had an annual national festival called Septimontian, the festival of seven mountains. On the coins and imperial medals of John's day, which are located in various museums, we find Rome proudly displayed as a woman sitting on seven hills, the unchallenged matron of the world as it was then, even as she is represented in the book of Revelation. The Babylon of Revelation was still in the future in John's day, and although it would be located in the seven-hilled city, it was to be different from the pagan empire. In fact, it would be spiritual. Cardinal Bellarmine was one of Rome's greatest thinkers and controversialists, and he declared, John, in the Apocalypse, that is, the book of Revelation, calls Rome Babylon. Another great Roman writer, Cardinal Baronius, said, Rome is signified by Babylon. It is confessed of all. Bishop Bossuet, another of their thinkers, said, all the fathers taught that the Babylon of the Apocalypse is Rome. In like manner, Bishop Walmsley, Alcazar, and numerous other Roman Catholic theologians have admitted the same. In order to answer this perplexity, actually, it's a revelation, we must look at the history of Rome. It is not well known that she had 7 forms of government, or foundations of power, before the 8th appeared. In his great work, The Approaching End of the Age, page 162, Henry Grattan Guinness identified these distinct forms of sovereignty. The great Roman power did actually exist under 7 distinct forms of government, enumerated by Livy, Tacitus, and historians in general as such. Rome was ruled successively by kings, consuls, dictators, decemvirs, military tribunes, military emperors, Caesars, and despotic emperors, emphasis added. Guinness went on to say on page 170, 7 kings formed the first head and lasted 220 years, consuls, tribunes, decemvirs, a council of 10 magistrates which lasted from 451 to 449 and drew up the law code of the 12 tables, and dictators were the next 4 heads, and governed Rome in turn for nearly 500 years. 65 emperors, Caesars, followed, and ruled the Roman world for 500 years more. Now the man of sin, Antichrist, is to be the last and the most important head of this same Roman beast. We must remember that John wrote the Revelation during the time of the Caesars. The prophecy stated 5 are fallen. The kings, consuls, dictators, decemvirs, and military tribunals had all passed away, fallen. And one is, the 6th or present form, the Caesars, and the other is not yet come, These were the emperors, the seventh form. John said that after the first seven forms of government passed away, another, the eighth, would arise and go into perdition. After the last emperor was toppled in 476 AD, the eighth form of Roman government, the papacy, ascended into power. Who dares deny that it was of the seven before it? Does the Pope, to this very day, claim the title Pontifex Maximus, which was held by all the Roman emperors? Simple to understand, isn't it? This is no mystery, it's a revelation. For centuries, Protestants have believed what has been presented to you here. Can you begin to understand what has happened to the 70 weeks? If people will believe that the final week, 7 years, of Daniel's prophecy is yet to occur, and that the seals, trumpets, and vials of the book of Revelation are restricted to this time frame, instead of progressively unfolding during the church age, then the greatest witness against the apostate church and the word of God is destroyed. I read clearly in the Revelation that John was told, "Seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand." Let's tie these two great prophecies together with the teachings of the Apostle Paul in his second letter to the Thessalonians. Thus we further expose the fabrication of the dispensationalists.